Good afternoon, friends. Today we will see the history of microbiology. In first lecture, in previous lecture, I have already discussed the syllabus of microbiology, then scope of microbiology, and objective of microbiology. So, what is scope of microbiology? To study the all categories of microorganism, especially for the production of alcohol, antibiotics, vaccines, vitamins, and this is the scope of pharmaceutical microbiology. I am repeating the scope of pharmaceutical microbiology. What is scope? To study the all categories of microorganisms. For example, bacteria, fungi, viruses, especially for for production of alcohols, antibiotics, various vaccines, then vitamins, then enzymes. This is the scope of pharmaceutical microbiology. Then objectives. First, to understand the various methods of identification of, then methods of cultivation, then methods of preservation of various microorganisms. First objective, I am repeating the objective and scope of pharmaceutical microbiology. First objective, understand the method of identification, cultivation, and preservation of various types of microorganisms. Second objective, to understand the importance and implementation of sterilization in pharmaceutical processing and pharmaceutical industry. Second objective, to understand the importance as well as implementation of sterilization in various pharmaceutical processing and in various pharmaceutical industry. Third objective, to learn the sterility testing of pharmaceutical products. So what is sterility or what is sterile and what is sterilization? Sterilization, it means it is the process of making the object sterile. What is sterilization? It is the process of making the object sterile. So what is sterile? Sterile, it means it should be free from all type of microorganism, that is sterile. So these two concepts, that is sterile and sterilization. Sterile, it means it should be free from all type of microorganism, that is sterile. So what is sterilization? So it is the process of making object sterile, that is sterilization. The next objective, to carry out the microbiological standardization of various pharmaceuticals. Then next objective, to understand the various cell culture technologies and its application in pharmaceutical industries. First objective, to understand the methods of identification as well as cultivation, preservation of various microorganisms. Second objective, to understand the importance and implementation of sterilization in various pharmaceutical processing as well as pharmaceutical industry. Then next objective, to learn sterility testing of pharmaceutical products. Then next, to carry out microbiological standardization of various pharmaceuticals. Next, to understand the various cell culture technologies, then its applications of cell culture technologies in various pharmaceutical industries. These are the few objectives of pharmaceutical microbiology. The marking system of your theory, I have already discussed, or I have already discussed with you the marking system of pharmaceutical microbiology. We will see the history of microbiology. In history of microbiology, before that, so what is microbiology? It is the study of microorganisms or microbes which is visible only with the microscope. The diverse group of organism, it includes algae, then fungi, bacteria, protozoa, viruses and cyanobacteria. The most of the organisms are harmless. The most of the organisms are harmless to the human. In the 99% of organisms are good. For example, cyanobacteria, that is blue-green algae. The 99% of organisms are good. That is, for example, cyanobacteria, that is blue-green algae. And 1% of 1% of microorganisms are bad. That is example pathogen. Microbiology, there are 4 eras: discovery era, second transition era, third golden era, and last modern era. First discovery era, then transition era, then golden era and modern era. So what is microbiology? Simply it is the study of all type of microorganisms. Microorganism, it means these are the organisms which are unable to see by your naked eye, that is which are observed and which are visible under only microscope, that is microorganism. First we will see discovery era. In spontaneous generation, first Aristotle 384 to 322 and others believe that the living organisms could develop from non-living material. The living organisms could develop from non-living material. In 13th century, Rogan Bacon described the disease caused by a minute, that is seed or germ. In 13th century, the Rogan Bacon described that the disease caused by minute, that is seed or germ. Then second, Antony van Leeuwenhoek in 1632 to 1723. Antony van Leeuwenhoek in 1632 to 1723. He described the description about protozoa, then basic types of bacteria, yeast and algae. He describes the description about algae, then various basic types of bacteria, then protozoa, yeast and algae. Then second, the term microbes is used by Sidlot in 1878. Then Antony van Leeuwenhoek, he is considered as a father of bacteriology and the father of protozoology. So what is bacteriology? It means it deals with the study of bacteria, that is bacteriology. And second thing, that is protozoology, it means the study of protozoa, that is protozoology. Antony van Leeuwenhoek, he is considered as a father of bacteriology and the father of protozoology. Then next, in 1676, he observed and described the microorganisms such as bacteria and protozoa as animalcules. Keep in mind, it is important. In 1676, he observed and described. He observed as well as described the microorganisms such as the bacteria and protozoa as animalcules. Next, transition era. Francisco Redi in 1626 to 1697. In 1697, he showed that the maggots would not arise from decaying the meat when it is covered. It is what I am saying. He showed that maggots would not arise from decaying the meat when it is covered. The next discovery, John Needham in 1713 to 1781. the supporter of the spontaneous generation theory. Then second, he proposed that the tiny organism, that is animalcules, and the tiny organisms, he proposed that the tiny organism, that is animalcules, arose spontaneously on the mutton gravy. What he proposed? He proposed that the tiny organism, that is your animalcules, it means the protozoa and bacteria, arises spontaneously on the mutton gravy. Then next, he covered the flask with cork as done by Reddy. Still the microbes appeared on the mutton broth. Okay. Next discovery, Lazzaro Spallanzani in 1729 to 1799, he demonstrated that the air carried germs to the culture medium. He demonstrated that the air carried germs to the culture medium. Second, he also shows that the boiled growth would not give rise to microscopic form of life. In 1729 to 1799, first he demonstrated that air carried germs to the culture medium, and second thing, he showed that the boiled broth would not give rise to a microscopic form of life. Next, golden era. Louis Pasteur, he is a father of medical microbiology. Keep in mind, it is important for your multiple choice question. What I am saying, the Louis Pasteur, he is the father of medical microbiology. Yes, who is the father of medical microbiology? Yes, Louis Pasteur is the father of microbiology. Then he pointed that the no growth takes place in swan neck shaped tubes because dust and germs had been trapped on the walls of curved neck. But if the neck were broken off so that the dust fell directly down into the flask, microbial growth commenced immediately. Yes, he described or he pointed out the no growth takes place in swan neck shaped tubes because, so what is the reason? Because dust and germs had been trapped on the walls of curved necks. But if the necks were broken off so that the dust fell directly down into the flask, and the microbial growth commenced immediately. Second thing, the Louis Pasteur in 1897, he suggested that the mild heating at 62.8 degrees Celsius, in Fahrenheit it is 145 degree Fahrenheit, or 30 minutes, rather than boiling, was enough to destroy the undesirable organisms without running the taste of products. The process was called as pasteurization. He described the concept of pasteurization. So what is pasteurization? The scientist Louis Pasteur in 1897, he suggested or he described that the mild heating at which temperature, that is 62.8 degrees Celsius, and in Fahrenheit it is 145 degree Fahrenheit, or for 30 minutes, rather than boiling, it is enough to destroy the undesirable organisms without ruining the taste of your products. This process is called as pasteurization. Next, then Louis Pasteur, he invented the process of pasteurization, then fermentation, and the development of effective vaccines, for example rabies and anthrax. I already discussed the pasteurization. Then second, that is fermentation. He also invented by the Louis Pasteur. What is fermentation? Fermentation is not possible without microbes. And also development of effective vaccines, for example rabies and anthrax. Then the Louis Pasteur also demonstrated the diseases of silkworm was due to the protozoan parasites. Then next, that is contribution of Louis Pasteur. First, he coined the term microbiology, that is aerobic and anaerobic. So what is aerobic and what is anaerobic? Aerobic means these are the microorganisms which grow in presence of oxygen, that is aerobic. Anaerobic, these are the microorganisms which grows absence of microorganism, that is anaerobic. Then second, he disproved the theory of spontaneous generation. He disproved the theory of spontaneous germination. The next contribution, he demonstrated that the anthrax was caused by bacteria and also produced the vaccine for the disease. He demonstrated that, what he demonstrated? He demonstrated the anthrax was caused by the bacteria and also produced the vaccine for the disease. Then next, he developed the live attenuated vaccine for the disease. These are the contribution of Louis Pasteur. First, he coined the term microbiology, that is aerobic and anaerobic. Second thing, he disproved the theory of spontaneous generation. He disproved the theory of spontaneous germination. Next, he demonstrated that the anthrax was caused by which is caused by bacteria and also produced the vaccine for the disease. The next, he developed live attenuated vaccine for the disease. The next, John Tyndall in 1820 to 1893, he discovered highly resistant bacterial structure, later known as endospore. Yes, he discovered in 1822 to 1893, he discovered highly resistant bacterial structure, and later on this highly resistant bacterial structure is known as endospore. Second thing, the prolonged boiling or intermittent heating was necessary to kill the spores to make the infusion completely sterilized. A process is known as Tyndallization. John Tyndall, he discovered the concept Tyndallization. So what is Tyndallization? The prolonged boiling or intermittent heating was necessary to kill the spores and to make the infusion completely sterile or sterilized. This process is called as Tyndallization. Second, the next, Lord Joseph Lister during period in 1827 to 1912, he is the father of antiseptic surgery. Keep in mind, it is important for, as usual, it is MCQs for important for MCQs. He is the father of what? Antiseptic surgery. Second thing, he concluded that the wound infections were due to the microorganisms. And next, he also advised a method to destroy the microorganisms. He also devised the method to destroy the microorganism in the operation theatre by spraying a fine mist of carbolic acid into the air. First, yes, he is the father of antiseptic surgery. Second thing, Lister concluded that wound infections are due to the microorganisms. And next, He also devised the method to destroy the microorganism in operation theaters by spraying the fine mist of carbolic acid into the air. Yes, what is? By spraying the fine mist of carbolic acid. Keep in mind, what is? By spraying the fine mist of carbolic acid into the air. Next, Robert Koch in 1893 to 1910, he demonstrated the role of bacteria in causing disease. Second, he perfected the technique of isolating bacteria in pure culture. First, he demonstrated the role of bacteria in causing disease. Second thing, he perfected the techniques of isolating bacteria in pure culture. Then next, the Robert Koch used the gelatin to prepare solid media, but it was not ideal because since gelatin is protein, it is digested by many bacteria capable of producing proteolytic exoenzyme gelatinase that hydrolyzes the protein to amino acids. Yes, Robert Koch used the gelatin to prepare solid media, but it was not ideal. Why it is not ideal? Because first thing, the gelatin is a protein. As you know, gelatin, it is a protein and it is digested by many bacteria capable of producing proteolytic exoenzymes gelatinase that hydrolyzes the protein into the amino acids. And second reason, it melts when the temperatures rises above 25 degrees Celsius. Robert Koch used the gelatin to prepare solid media, but it is not ideal. There are two reasons why it is not ideal. First, gelatin, as it is protein and it is hydrolyzed into protein into the amino acid. And second thing, it melts when the temperatures rises above 25 degrees Celsius. Then there are some postulates of Koch, that is Koch postulate. First postulate, the same microorganisms are present in every case of disease. This is first postulate. Then second postulate, the microorganisms are isolated from the tissue of the dead animal and a pure culture is prepared. First postulate, the same microorganisms are present in every case of disease. This is first postulate. Second postulate, the microorganisms are isolated from the tissues of a dead animal and a pure culture is prepared. And third postulate, the microorganisms from the pure cultures are inoculated into the healthy susceptible animal. The disease is reproduced. Third postulate, the microorganisms from the pure cultures are inoculated into the healthy susceptible animals and the disease is reproduced. Then fourth postulate, the identical microorganisms are isolated and recultivated from the tissue specimens of the experimental animal. These are the four postulates of Koch. First postulate, the same microorganisms are present in every case of disease. This is first postulate. Second, the microorganisms are isolated from the tissue of the dead animal and the pure culture is prepared. Then third postulate, microorganisms from the pure cultures are inoculated into the healthy susceptible animals and the disease is reproduced. The next, that is fourth postulate, the identical microorganisms are isolated and recultivated from the tissue specimens of the experimental animal. These are the postulates of Koch. The next, Van Erasmus Hesse in 1850 to 1934, the one of the Koch assistant first proposed the use of agar in culture media. It was not attacked by the most bacteria. Then next, agar is better than gelatin because of its higher melting point, that is agar having melting point 96 degrees Celsius. And second, solidifying point, agar having solidifying point that is 40 to 45 degrees Celsius. Agar is better than gelatin because what is reason? The first thing, that is higher melting point. The agar having melting point 96 degrees Celsius. And second reason, that is solidifying point of agar. The solidifying point of agar, it is 40 to 45 degrees Celsius. Then next, Richard Petri in 1887 he developed the Petri dish or Petri plate, a container used for solid culture media. Richard Petri in 1887 he developed the Petri dish or a Petri plate, is a container which is used for solid culture media. Then next, Edward Jenner in 1749 to 1823 is the first to prevent the smallpox. Then second, he discovered the technique of vaccination. Yes, he discovered the technique of vaccination. Keep in mind, Edward Jenner, he discovered the technique of vaccination. Next, Alexander Fleming, he discovered the penicillin from Penicillium notatum, and that destroy the several pathogenic microorganisms. I think all of you know the Alexander Fleming, he discovered the penicillin. Yes, Alexander Fleming, he discovered the penicillin from Penicillium notatum, and that destroy the several pathogenic bacteria. Next, Paul Ehrlich in 1920 he discovered the treatment of syphilis by using arsenic. Then second, he studied the toxins and antitoxins in quantitative terms and laid foundation of biological standardization. Yes, Paul Ehrlich, he discovered the treatment of syphilis by using arsenic. And second, he also studied the toxins and endotoxins. Next, some important discoveries. Hansen in 1874, the leprosy bacillus. Second, Neisser 1879, Genococcus. Then Oxton 1881, the discovery of Staphylococcus. Then Loeffler in 1884, the discovery of diphtheria bacillus. And Rox and Yersin, the discovery of diphtheria toxin. This is the discoveries of bacteria. First, Hansen 1874, leprosy bacillus. Then Neisser in 1879, gonococcus. Then Oxton 1881, staphylococcus. Then Loeffler 1884, diphtheria bacillus. And Ross and Yersin in diphtheria toxin. Then discoveries of viruses. Bejering in 1898 coined the term viruses for filtrable infectious agents. Then Pasteur developed Louis Pasteur, he developed the rabies and vaccine. Then Good Pasteur cultivation of viruses on chick embryo. Then Charles Chablon, one of the Pasteur associate, constructed the porcelain bacterial filter. Then Todd and Haley, bacteriophages. And Edward Jenner, the vaccination of smallpox. So this is all about the history of microbiology. I will stop here.